Hey everyone, it's James, geometriccharts.com. It's March 11th, about 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's a little bit later of a video. I got very busy today, but anyways, first of all, videos on investment advice. Second of all, get to the chart and what's going on here. So we're definitely hitting potential oversold territory on the lagging indicators. Bitcoin could be poised to pop from here a bit. If Bitcoin starts kind of chopping sideways, not really doing much and floundering around, I think that's going to be more of a bearish sign than anything for Bitcoin. We are slowly working our way over to the longer term downtrend line. Again, for me, I think of Bitcoin, I was talking about like 4,400 area. Now it's kind of dropping down. I think if Bitcoin can get ultimately above probably like 4,250, 4,300, somewhere in that area, and stay trading above that, we could potentially be having the beginning of a trend change in the overall bigger picture for this market. In the short term, it just seems like it's going to be a lot of chop, small price action. Any little pops are going to be sold into. There's going to be a lot of whipping back and forth, and I don't think that's really going to stop probably for at least a few weeks or so. If Bitcoin starts giving out here and it can't really start to get a rally, I think Bitcoin might start to dive a little bit deeper in the short term and then start to work its way out horizontal, which would obviously drop those price figures of that 42 to 4,300 area to something like in the high threes, like 3.8 or 3.7, somewhere in that area. But Bitcoin is a pretty good support zone right now that it currently has for it. As long as the support zone is holding up, I think on the short term it's going to be a little more bullish for Bitcoin. If it starts to break through this support area, probably right around 3,900 or so, Bitfinex, if it starts to break through that area, then I think obviously the dead momentum is going to start to deteriorate price on the short-term picture, and that could lead to a deep dive into Bitcoin, probably around 3,500. Or I'm sorry, on Bitfinex, probably closer to about 3,600. And if that gives out, then it's back down to retest the lows. So I think Bitcoin's at a pretty critical area here to where if it does not start showing some strength, it's more than likely going to start to deteriorate and dwindle downward. I don't think it's necessarily the end of Bitcoin in the threes. I think price, based on what's happening in the past, it's just going to be very choppy, and we may even work our way over to that downtrend line. And if that happens, we're talking at least weeks. We're talking 2 to possibly 3 weeks, unless something crazy happens in the next few days to where Bitcoin's skyrocketing through the 4.2, 4.3 area. That would dramatically expedite the process. But if this turns out to like it was in the 6s, to where you just get this, you get these nice pumps and dumps, but then price starts to kind of just churn and chop, and that's kind of what we're looking like we're kind of getting into. If that's the case, prepare to go horizontal, prepare to have a lot of chop, and that's kind of what I think is forming here in Bitcoin. Even if it does drop, even if it does pop, I still think it's going to go more horizontal than anything, something kind of like this, and I think that's going to last for at least weeks. I don't think we're really going to have the clear trend change here. I know some of the other alts have been popping off, like XLM, blasting to outer space. We'll see. Again, I don't think that's really going to hold up. I think it's more of a news event than anything, but some other things happen in there as well too. But anyways, for Bitcoin, as long as it can kind of hover around the 3,900 area, churn in this area on Bitfinex, I think it's going to be somewhat positive for price, especially getting so close to the longer term downtrend line. Nice sustained volume, so things are looking good, at least on the short term. I still think Bitcoin has much lower to go in the longer term picture before everything gets shaken out. I just feel like there's a lot of people out there that are trying to call the bottom on this market already, and from my experience, I've never seen a bottom called so easily, and it just seems so obvious that this would be the bottom, especially with so many people talking about this being the bottom all these crazy price projections and so forth. So I would just, if you're trading, just be cautious. Again, if Bitcoin starts to dive from here, you're probably going to see it in the lower, like low threes to mid three level, maybe stabilize somewhere around there, and then kind of chop, maybe have one more pop up. I don't think it's going to have the strength it needs to break through the longer term downtrend line. I see a lot of dead momentum here, and I think that's leading to this kind of sideways chop. And if this leads up to the same way it did back in 6,000, obviously we know what happened from 6,000. He went to 3,000. So that's kind of what I'm envisioning in the longer term picture of this market. Is another drop back down, maybe a more vicious drop, maybe something to really scare the shit out of people. I feel like we haven't quite done that in this market, and we are leading up to that. And there's just too, I don't know, I feel like there's just way too many coins. There's over like 3,900 of them, and I have a feeling that there's a big shakeout in the near term picture, probably like this year, that's going to happen, to where it's going to scare a lot of people out. A lot of those altcoins are just going to become like a distant memory and fizzle to, I don't know, probably nothing, and or at least close to it, to where there will be a clear power structure and a separation from the rest of the market, to where maybe it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I would imagine Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum will be big players there. Other ones could be big players too. But I do think there will be a consolidation of power, and I feel like the whipping is not done in this market. And just not only from what I believe, but then what I'm seeing in the charts as well, we're still sticking to a lot of bearish momentum that we've had ever since the backside of 20,000 in this market. So hopefully all that makes sense. Again, short term, I think as long as Bitcoin can hold here, it'll be bullish, but like bullish with like a caution light flashing, meaning like have your stops in place, have your trading strategy like nailed down, just be ready for things to go south. And again, the longer term, I definitely think it's going to be bearish. So about 3,900 for Bitfinex. If Bitcoin does a miracle pop and skyrockets through like 4,250, 4,300, I think that's a really good sign, given price can stay above that range. Obviously, there will be a profit-taking event, probably tearing it back down under, but as long as it quickly gets back above and is maintaining the ebb and flow of lower highs, higher lows and lower highs, and we start churning through some major bearish lines here, not only in price but in momentum, then I think we could see something bigger unfolding in Bitcoin, and there will be plenty of trades in the future if the trend is truly changing. I just feel like it's just too damn easy at this juncture to say the bottom is in, this is it, the thing's going to the moon. I feel like this is just kind of 6,000 all over again, and a lot of things are kind of looking very similar to it. So anyways, that's it. Kind of repeated myself a few different times there, but hopefully it kind of lays it all out. I'll do another video on Wednesday. Again, I do my videos, anyone new, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And hopefully we see some change, but I got a feeling we got some chop ahead of us.